Will the off-the-field issues that we talk about on this show quite often and how 3,000 other shows talk about it every day on their platform, will the off-the-field issues Colorado football has negatively affect them this season? Will the Colorado off-the-season news and shit that we cover affect their on-the-play results? Drop it in the chat if you guys would, as you hit that like button, drop your questions and concerns and comments to that poll question in the chat. The latest, we're going to dive into it later, but Shiloh bankruptcy is trying to get covered up by his dad. Probably something that the head football coach shouldn't be worried about this stage of the season. I would hopefully he was more stress-free, worried about football things, recruiting for next year, building a program, getting ready for game one, blah, blah, blah. But he seems to have there's always something else that the head coach, who's also the father, has to deal with. Just another talking point, I guess, on this program. So what?
We knew this, though. You know, I mean, we talked about this for weeks ago. We knew that Deion was out. This is his son. Of course, he's gonna, try to help him out with the case. I mean, I didn't see a world where he would just sit back 100%, just let Shiloh go through this alone. Especially since this is something that he's been knowing about since 2015. So it's been a long time since he's been knowing about it. So I'm not really shocked about this. But before I answer the question, just so I got all clarity, when we say problems that are happening off the field, this is the clear, obvious one. Outside of this, like when we say problems, are we talking about just like the noise? Like, for example, the lie that a player said that if the players don't go to a Lil Wayne concert, we all gotta,
I never said problems.
Well,
you didn't hear me say problem. I said anything off the field, will it translate to on the field wins? So like this, I just said talking points. I said discussion.
Talking points, yeah.
We're just talking about it. I never assume and say that they're problems until the results of the season happens. Because I've had problems that I've never discussed within coaching. I get how it works. All off season, Smitty, just so you know, the head coach, which I'll always respect the head coach, no matter who it is, Deion, whatever coach, they're holding this thing together with glue, tape, nails, staples. We're trying to hold this shit together until game one.
Right.
Meaning, I got knuckleheads that are going to be knuckleheads in the streets. They're going to do stupid shit. They're going to be kids. They're going to fucking do some dumb shit in a Walmart. They're going to be in a girl's dorm room when they're not supposed to be. Hopefully, it doesn't escalate beyond that, but at least but they will break a rule.
Right.
So you're holding this shit together, dog, with a bunch of fucking glue and sticks and fucking staples and nails until you get to season.
Right.
Nowadays, I don't know how you do that, Smitty. That's why I always talk about it where people don't understand, put it in context. You're bringing in 30 new kids every semester and trying to do that every semester. And that's just every school in the country. That's why I keep saying this is the landscape of college football. I could give a fuck less about what's going on in Colorado. This is happening everywhere.
Right.
So, like, if you're trying to hold this shit together at every school with all these different transfers, new transfers, having to reculture, keeping all this together so you don't go do some dumb shit. Because these are recyclable kids, right? They were at another place before they came to your place.
Yep.
So the kid at Ole Miss is now at Colorado. The kid at Colorado is now at Ole Miss. Make it make sense. That's just what this college football thing has become. So you having to reculture somebody in your house, your place of business, it seems like it's an undaunting task. I don't want the task. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm rather retain and hold the kids there and try to build something, bring in, replenish with new blood, but keep my old blood that understands what we do and build the program that way. I'd rather do it that way. Apparently, it's unattainable nowadays, I guess. I don't know. I'm not coaching, so I'm just throwing that out there. But
yeah, but I guess to go back to answer your question, as of right now, where I stand right now, based upon everything that has happened, or even the things that hasn't happened, but just the noise that's been around, I don't really see it affected the team negatively. I think as long as you're keeping the main thing in house, I think that's what matters the most. As long as the preparation is there, which again, none of us are literally there, so it's just assuming that they're working hard and that they're keeping them, disciplined. Again, outside of the Shiloh thing, there hasn't been any like illegal news or anybody really getting in any trouble. And the Shiloh thing is something that was old that just still is going on. So it's not like he's just continuing to do bad stuff. He did something bad in 2015 that there's consequences to that. Outside of that, it's just like regular stuff. Players transferring in, transferring out. Like you just alluded to, every school's dealing with that. You got recruits who are upset because they're not playing or whatever, coming out and, making up stuff. Players had to go to Lil Wayne concert, otherwise they were kicked out. Well, half the team came back and said that's not the case and started saying, I didn't go. So, like, it's like a lot of, like, this noise because, again, it's of who's coaching the team. But at the end of the day, there hasn't been anything that, for me at least, that stood out like, damn, this is a huge issue. Oh, my God. Like, nothing. Like, see, the Shiloh thing is something that you don't want lingering around you, the team or one of your key players. Obviously, if you're a head coach, especially that's your son as well. But then, again, it's something that happened like 6 years. Not 6, almost, 10 years ago, or basically 9-10 years ago. So it's like, it's probably more annoying than anything, but it's not like it's something new that caught you off guard. This is something that they've been aware of for a long ass time. So I just don't see how it's going to negatively impact the football season.
Yeah. Listen, Smitty, we could talk about it until we're blue in the face about Colorado. Bottom line is, we won't know until their record ends at the end of fucking September, October, November, December.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get through that month, we'll come back on this show and say, we were right in our evaluation. We were wrong. We ate crow. Smitty was right. JB was wrong. Whatever you want to say. I don't care. We'll come back in December and we'll know. But we'll probably know much well before December on how their season's going.
Yeah.
We'll dive into it and we'll get back into it. All I know is we talk about them a lot because there's a lot to talk about.